just wanted to show you these beautiful colours. The yellow, I think it's rapeseed. My nose is beginning to tell that it's something like that. And the blue sky. And actually, if you look closely, I don't know if you'll see so much from the distance there, but there's butterflies and bees in abundance around here. There we go, cue the white butterfly going past. So I thought I'd show you that. As I say, the beautiful colours, the brilliance, very much like we were saying the other day with the yellow gorse bushes. The yellow is quite uplifting, I find that anyway. And then if we come over the other side of this track, and again, no surprise, I don't know where I am, we find a wood. So should we go and explore in the wood? I will tell you a secret. I actually did go in this wood earlier on, and there was a deer stood right in front of me. So I stopped dead still, and luckily I had the video on for a little while anyway, but it was almost like we were having a stare out. I was keeping as still as possible, and she was just literally staring at me, which was wonderful to see. Anyway, you can see the light streaming through the woods there. There we go, it's better. We can't see the sun affecting the camera so much. We've got wonderful bluebells here. But if I go over there, now I'd like you to cast your mind back to the energy of when we were stood in the yellow field. It was all open, beautiful uplifting energy. And now feel the energy in the wood. It's very different. I know obviously it's not the expanse that that field has, but how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel more secure? Does it make you feel one with nature? It's full of trees, obviously, as woods are. And actually these trees aren't that old. Not as yet, anyway, that I've seen. So let's go and try and find a tree that's a little bit older. I can see one in the distance over here. And I know these are all bigger trees as well around by us, but I'm going for one in particular that wants to actually infuse its energy into this video. Because what I'd like to talk about is grounding. Now this is an easier one to get to, but it's this one that's calling. So you've probably heard people say, you feel ungrounded. Oh wow, look at all the vines on it. Maybe that's why it's calling. It wants a little bit of freedom from the vines. Okay, I'm just going to put my hand on the tree anyway and show you the rest of the wood. So you might hear a lot of people say, especially when it's by the full moon, that you can get ungrounded. Well, what does that mean? Well, ungrounded is, to me anyway, when you run around doing lots of things and actually achieve nothing, or you have really good ideas but nothing comes to fruition. You jump from one thing to another and never really getting anything finished, never getting anything done. Almost a little bit as if your head is in the clouds. Well, that can be because you are ungrounded. And that means that your feet are off the ground, literally, energetically wise. So the ground actually resonates, it has a frequency. You may have heard of the Schumann resonance. It changes, it fluctuates all the time anyway, but there's an average of what the Schumann resonance, the frequency is. And the Earth emits negative ions. Now, negative ions, even though it has the word negative to it, are actually very beneficial for us. Negative ions are found by waterfalls. They exude more with salt, so salt water. So if you're in on a holiday and you're paddling in the water, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good being by a waterfall. Most of those places as well, you'll be barefoot. The shoes that we wear nowadays, we normally have rubber soles to them. Rubber is an insulator, so therefore we don't actually get to feel the energies so much of the Earth, these negative ions, because that insulates, again, insulates us from it. So, whereas ages, centuries, eons ago, man would walk barefoot on the ground, one with the earth, and really feel grounded. Hence, we were able to hunt easier. We knew where the animals were. We could just feel it through the earth. And many indigenous tribes still do the same today. So how can we get back in touch with the earth? How can we make it that it helps us? Well, we can be one with nature. Trees are very grounding, and they have a network of, it's like a sort of fungi, microscopic fungi, that is a network that's underneath in the soil, that is their communication, it's their internet system really. So I know people say, oh yes, go and stand by a tree and you'll feel information. Well, yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe there is the internet of the earth that we can actually feel if you link into the tree. But sometimes it's not always practical to go outside and just put your hand on a tree and focus and really feel that you're grounding with the roots of that tree. It could be that you're in a cold climate. It could be that you don't have any trees by you. So what else can you do? Well, you know what I'm going to say. Crystals, yes. And my favourite crystals for grounding are Boji stones. Now, Boji stones come as a pair. You'll see they're little, almost disc-shaped, but not flat. They're sort of slightly curved. And they are of iron origin, and therefore they are dark. They're a sort of dark black colour, blacky grey colour. And one is spiky and one is smooth. And they grow, there's only one place on the planet that they seem to grow anyway, in the States. And they grow on stalks almost. I've not seen them growing before. I've only seen them, from my suppliers. And they are the most amazing grounding crystals or grounding stones. So you hold one in each hand or put one in each pocket. And they come in varying sizes, but they are a pair, so therefore the male and female will be the same size in each pair. And they balance you. The male is the spiky one, no offence, and the female is the smooth one. And they work on your masculine and feminine energies to balance you. They're very, very good for grounding. So when it's full moon, you'll always see me actually going around with a pair of Boji stones in my pockets. You can get them quite small, so they're inconspicuous, but they help you ground. So what else can help you ground? Let me move a little bit here. Well, black tourmaline is a good crystal for grounding as well. Smoky quartz is a good crystal for grounding. Some people say obsidian, but anybody that knows me knows what I say about black obsidian, that please do not use it unless you're in a very, very positive place, as in emotionally, physically and mentally. Let's move a little bit over here. Purely and simply because obsidian's a fantastic crystal. Well, it's a glass really, found from volcanic rock areas. It's where it's cooled down so quickly that it's actually formed glass. And you can get some lovely varieties of black obsidian. You can get them with the silver sheen on, the golden sheen, the rainbow sheen, and that's created by the speed of it forming and cooling down really. So it adapts, it changes colour. Plus also other minerals that may be present. So obsidian, as I say, obsidian's like going down a well. It can take you down to the depths of wherever you might like to go. You can find out more about yourself, but it's almost like you don't get thrown the rope to help you out. You need to be able to scramble out yourself. And to me, that's too much work. There's other ways of doing it. So I would actually say that to not utilise black obsidian for grounding, because there are so many other crystals. So as I say, my favourite's Boji stones, then probably black tourmaline, a big piece of tourmaline really, and I would say that because tourmaline, you can get small little tumblestones of tourmaline, but to be honest, I feel you need a bigger piece for it to work as well. So I would actually put a big piece then by my bed at night time. The other thing with tourmaline is that it can actually absorb negativity as well, and it can reflect negativity or deflect it. So it's a very handy stone to have. Smoky quartz, as I've said. Don't put smoky quartz though by any routers or smart meters or anything. That's my advice. Why? Well, because smoky quartz is a quartz. Quartz amplifies, therefore you are going to be amplifying all the electromagnetic frequency that comes from your machine. And that's not the best thing to do, but you can, you know me, I go off on tangents here, so we're talking about EMF now. Black tourmaline is fine to use by there. And shungite, as you know, shungite and black tourmaline by routers and things. Okay, so there is another crystal that a lot of people use for grounding, and that's hematite. You may have seen it. I just seen that sign. Shooting may be in progress. Okay, I did say I didn't know where I was. So anyway, if you hear a gunshot and the camera's not moving afterwards, you know I've been shot. So, hematite, you might see it in polished form. It looks silver, and you can get it as bracelets, and you can get it magnetic hematite as well, which isn't as effective. But hematite actually, in its natural form, is red. It's a reddy brown colour, and if you were to get your silver hematite pebble and scratch it on a white tile, you'll see that the streak that it leaves is actually red. So hematite is a very grounding crystal. However, some people, myself included, find that it can also take you up, so it can be ungrounding as well. Now, a form of hematite mixed with vanadinite, which is very, very rare, but if you can get hold of it, it's brilliant. It's very heavy, and they look almost like tortoise shell stones, and they are brilliant at grounding. So that, I would say, hematite and vanadinite mixed together, great, but very hard to get hold of. So there you go. We've got some different crystals that we can use for grounding. You can put them by your bed. It might help you sleep if it's around the full moon time as well, because sometimes we find that we're ungrounded when we sleep. There are things that you can use on the bed, like grounding mats and everything. I've never used them, so I don't know. I think they have to be earthed as well. So anyway, if any of you guys have actually used a grounding mat to help you sleep, please let me know what you think. Because as I say, it's something I've not used. I've always been a little bit put off by the fact it's got to be earthed and plugged in. But I'm sure that they work really well. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And also anything else that you might use for grounding, any other crystal that I haven't mentioned. If you are interested in any Boji stones or black tourmaline, hematite or smoky quartz, please look on our Facebook page, which is in the banner, the link's in the banner above, and or message me on there, and we do sell crystals, so we can wing some over to you anyway. Okay, so there we go. I better probably find my way out of here now. So there we got the grounding energy of the woods, as opposed to, I'm going to say, the solar plexus of the fields. So stay safe, stay well, see you soon.